I'm not gonna lie, Bartolomeo, he gained my respect this chapter. He had a Straw Hat like moment, and he ain't even a Straw Hat, so mad respect to him. One Piece chapter 1126, I can confidently say that the next chapter is when we're going to officially, I guess, start with Elbaf. I guess technically in this chapter we got a little bit of a teaser, as it starts off with the Straw Hat still celebrating with the Giants. They're eating, drinking, just celebrating with them on their ship. And it's important to note that Oimo and Kashi were the individuals that brought Dory and Broggy back to Elbaf, as they stated they would during Water 7. They went to Little Garden, and Dory and Broggy, they were still fighting. They were fighting with their fists. And I love this because Nami, you know, similar to the first interaction on Little Garden, Nami was kind of confused as to why they would do this. And Usopp talked about because, you know, they're men, they're brave warriors of the sea. And so in this chapter, it still brings it back full circle when Nami's like, oh, that's what you guys were doing? Like, well, I'm not interested anymore. Similar to what happened during Little Garden. But yeah, still seeing them celebrating. I love it. I love seeing Bonnie talking to Kuma, saying, hey, we achieved our goal. We finally are here together. Seeing Kuma smile. I wonder if now that he's met Bonnie, and kind of, I guess, throughout all of Egghead, he was going crazy, you know, trying to get back to her. We saw him challenge Akainu, go on the red line, as well as punch Saturn. I wonder if this officially broke Kuma of that curse of being a slave and being just a robot that has and shows no emotions, and now he's finally back to normal. I would assume he's not, and that it's going to be Lilith's job to bring him and make Kuma a normal human again. Well, I guess technically he's not human, so I guess a normal buccaneer. Shanks has been on this insane type run recently, because remember when he talked about Bartolomeo burnt his flag and that they have to make an example out of him because you know, he just can't be disrespected like that. And so we see Bartolomeo in this chapter. He's blooded and, you know, bleeding. He has knots all over his head, and this is really important because we know Bartolomeo's fruit, and that it's the bear no mi, and he can block anything. So the fact that he's this blooded, this beat up, we're not entirely sure how it happened. Chances are Shanks is probably, well, he was fast enough to attack him before he can put that berry up. But he's apologizing because he's like, yo, we weren't thinking anything. It was a foolish mistake. Because Shanks is like, hey, like, you know, my allies, you know, that flag is really important because, you know, it shows that, you know, they have my protection. So the fact that you did this is unacceptable. And this is where Hongo, he brings out a drug where it's like, hey, if you take this, you know, your body will start to spew out blood and eventually you'll die. So he's like, hey, since you're such a devoted follower to Luffy, go bring it to him. I'm not gonna lie, Bartolomeo, he gained my respect this chapter. He had a Straw Hat like moment, and he ain't even a Straw Hat, so mad respect to him. Because instead of giving that or going to give that drug to Luffy, he drank it himself. He's like, yo, you know, I didn't mean to get Luffy involved in this. He never said that we could take up his flag or drink you know, the sun cups. You know, we just did it on our own accord. So it would be foolish of me to think that Luffy's gonna come and save me after all this. So, you know, don't bother Luffy, I'll take this all on my own. Which, like I said, I give respect. I do think that Luffy would have ended up saving Bartolomeo if ish hit the fan, like, for real. But, you know, like I said, just give him respect here because, you know, he's a man and, you know, he takes responsibility and accountability for the mistake that he made. Fast forward a little bit, Bartolomeo just burps because apparently the drug was a fake. And so he's like, oh, shoot, it's a fake. Well, let's get up out of here. We shouldn't have done anything like this. And I love Shanks' reaction because he's like, hey, like, it's so cool that Luffy, he gets these devoted followers and people, you know, actually look up to Luffy, you know, just seeing his influence and how much he's grown as a pirate. And Yasop's on demon time. I don't know what it is with Shanks' crew and guns. I feel like everybody pulls them out and they use them like they should. There was Lucky Roo in the first couple, the first chapter, the first interaction we saw with him. Ben Beckman pulled one out on Kizaru, and now Yasop, he's like, oh, well, we can't just let them escape. We got to teach them a lesson. And he shot Bartolomeo's ship. The Barto Club, the ship sunk, and there is no confirmed survivors. Obviously, they're going to survive. That's what I personally think. Bartolomeo is going to witness Luffy becoming the Pirate King, but it's crazy that Yasop is so strong that his bullet allowed a ship to blow up. Like, that's insane. And also the fact that Shanks didn't order this, and that he acted on his own. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Straw Hats, how Luffy doesn't necessarily tell his crew what they can and can't do. A lot of the times their goals just align with each other, but just seeing that they have like free reign and they're not like total slaves to their captains, I like that. I like that a lot about their crews. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. We post different content all the time. Blackbeard is back on Hachinosu, you know, trying to figure out what the fluff happened, allowing Koby to escape. And he's talking to Pizarro because he's like, yo, like, how the fluff you let this happen? Because we know that Koby escaped with the honesty impact, and just like the state of the world, how it is right now, like different people are going to go after the poneglyphs, try to get the One Piece, so they can't afford to have any slip ups. But seeing Teach here and everything that's happened, the morale is high, especially amongst the no-name pirates. We see this panel and it's a really nice double spread of the remaining Blackbeard pirates that are here. So now that Blackbeard's here, it's him, Burgess, there's Aokiji, there's Shiroi. They're here just talking about what's happening, explaining that, hey, Koby may have gotten away, but we were able to get Garp. And he's like, that's what I call a constellation prize. Personally, I feel like Garp should be worth more than Koby, especially because Koby is a part of Sword and Garp is the hero of the Marines. He definitely has more value. What's crazy is Kuzan, he said that he was going for the kill, but I actually don't know how true that is. But at the same time, he very well could, because he know that Garp can handle it, because he is this strong individual. And just seeing Garp here with the chains all beat up around, like everything that's happened, he got aura. I ain't gonna lie. Garp, you know, even these chains doesn't seem like it can hold him. There's also Pudding here, saying that, you know, we got Garp, we got Pudding, like we're sitting in a really good spot. I think it's kind of crazy how Katakuri is all about family, and you know how much he was after Brule. Heck, even in the film, right? I know it's not canon, but he went all the way, you know, with Uta, with Shanks, like in that area, just to go after Brule. So I'm actually kind of surprised that Katakuri hasn't done anything yet, or has tried to even go after Blackbeard. Is he scared? I don't necessarily think so. And maybe Oda's just saving this so that, you know, Katakuri can somehow make his way back into the story once they get to Laftel, and we see all these different individuals fighting for the One Piece. Lafayette also informs us a little bit, or we find out how exactly the system that's affecting the Celestial Dragons regarding their food situation is going down. The fact that the Celestial Dragons, they can't get food is all because of the revolutionaries. They end up rigging their dolly system so that anytime that someone tries to use it to bring food up to Mary Joa, that it explodes or it breaks down. So that explains how they are unable to get their food supplies. And Lafayette's like, at this rate, they're actually going to starve. So it looks like what the Celestial Dragons, you know, well, what the Revolutionary Army attempted to do, it's working, and there's not an immediate solution for it. And so while the Celestial Dragons are in this state, that means that different, you know, world government, Marines, the Holy Knights, that they're going to be busy with that. So for right now, it's the best time to strike as a pirate. And we also see Katarina Devon and Van Augur, they appear at Hachinosu with Caribou, and he's going to explain the ancient weapons to Blackbeard. So I wonder what's going to happen in Wano. I wonder what's going to happen to Shirahoshi in Fishman Island, because obviously those two are Straw Hat territories. I know technically Fishman Island isn't officially Straw Hat territory, but chances are King Neptune definitely has that flag raised. So what's going to happen with them? Is Shirahoshi and Momo, are they going to get kidnapped? And is that going to be what sparks the clash between the Blackbeard pirates and the Straw Hats? The chapter ends with apparently the Thousand Sunny is missing, as well as Luffy and Nami. Now that's not to say that those are the only two Straw Hats that are missing. It's just the only ones that were mentioned in this chapter, because in this panel we see only Brooke, we see Jinbei, we see Robin and Frankie. So I wonder what exactly happened to the Sunny, as well as if it's not just them. Personally, I think it would be a little bit weird if Oda decided to write Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro in the same spot, with them being the three strongest on the crew. It really makes a lot more sense for them to be separated, simply because of their strength in and like what all they can do when they're together. I don't think any opponent in the series, I'm talking like even Shanks, even Kaido, like all these people, they're not strong enough to hold the three of them together. So like I said, if Oda didn't separate them, I just don't think it would have made that much sense. But we cut to Nami. She's like, hey, I drink so much, and she's in some, you know, unknown location. To me, you know, the size of the stuff, it's a little bit big, so you could safely assume that she's somewhere on Elbaf. But also the stuff, it kind of looks like Legos a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. As well as Nami, she's in a different outfit, and it looks like this is going to be her outfit for Elbaf, so I'm really looking forward to it. I wonder how she ended up being here. I wonder if it was Loki, but at the same time, if a giant ship was here, or they saw them headed that way, then maybe they wouldn't have tried and steal the Thousand Sunny. But who knows? Like I said, maybe it's Loki just interested in Nami. This ain't the first time that she's been kidnapped, and it probably won't be her last. But yeah, that's going to be it for this chapter. We are starting Elbaf. I'm really excited. I believe there's a break next week, which is fine. I'm really looking forward to what Oda is going to do for this arc. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.